All right, guys, happy Monday morning. It is May 4th. This is going to be just kind of a quick rundown of what you need to be getting done this week. So before I jump through the kind of assignments, I just want to go over some things with you guys. I have noticed a kind of downward trend in terms of things getting done, people doing the attendance, things of that nature. And I just kind of want to make sure you guys understand something here. Um, the state of North Carolina and CMS are still figuring out the grading policy. However, from what we're being told right now is if you don't turn in assignments, you get Fs for those things. And if you don't turn your work in and you get Fs on everything, I think you guys can kind of figure out what that means. So I know it's been a bit of a weird process in terms of doing school, and it is incredibly difficult. I get that. However, we do need to see some good faith effort on your part to do the work, turn things in, seek help when you need it. That way, when this is all over, you get an outcome you're happy with. I'm just kind of giving the heads up when I get the full detailed picture of what grading will look like and what that means overall for you guys. I will let you know that. But, the information we're getting right now basically says if you aren't going to do the work, you will be given Fs for those assignments, and that will likely not end in the way that you would like it to end. All right. Having said that, you will also get the attendance sheet. Make sure you fill that in and check off that you're doing it, that you got the instructions, and that's your place to tell me if you got some things or questions or concerns. All right. So we're moving into a new unit. This unit will be on the first half of something called the Age of Revolutions. We're talking about kind of the political, well, not political, the scientific and technological ones this week. So the first one we're talking about the scientific revolution. So here's basically what you're being asked to do. Watch the brief video. Well, first of all, you're going to start by reading a really quick article about something called artificial intelligence. That is a form of computer that basically has the ability to think for itself and rationalize and reason for itself. And so it's become kind of this hot button issue in terms of what does that mean going forward? How much power, how much anything do we give to these computers that can do this? And so there are many people who have lined up and said this is something we should be uncomfortable with. And so the article you're reading is going to be basically taking it from both sides. It's not very long, it's about a page. And then I want you to read the article. And then there's a quick discussion assignment I want you to do where you just answer a few questions, just a few sentences about, you know, what it seems like the good stuff, it seems like the bad things, and ultimately, how do you feel about artificial intelligence? This is kind of an introduction to the scientific revolution because we saw all this time, all these new advances and new learning from the time period, and many people resisted it. Are we any different than the people who lived all the way back then, looking at people like Galileo or Copernicus, like they were wrong and they were dangerous? Or are we more advanced than the people who lived hundreds of years ago? So that's that part. After that, brief video lecture about some of those key names I just mentioned. Take some notes, get the ideas down, and then the thing will be turning into me is there is a sheet with all these quotes. They're not real, fake quotes that could apply to one of the thinkers that we just learned about, or one of the scientists we just learned about. So you will identify who the scientist or thinker or learner is, and then you'll explain why that quote connects to them. So, like, for example, there's a guy named Ptolemy who is one of the quotes. What you'll do, you'll write Ptolemy, and then you'd say something like, "This applies to him because in the quote they're talking about the geocentric theory, or they are talking about the Earth being the center of the solar system," something like that. That's all I'm looking for. All right, the next thing you did these last week. These are the guided notes. This one will be on the Industrial Revolution. So here's how you want to look at this, right? The Industrial Revolution is the reason that you have clothing from all over the world. There's the reason there's such variety of all the things we see in the world. There's a reason there's there's not just the shirt store. There are stores that sell tons and tons of different types of shirts or pants or shoes or whatever or phones. The point is this, the Industrial Revolution essentially allowed for like the modern consumer life that we live. And so you need to understand like what started it and also what were some of the other impacts besides giving us, more t-shirts. All right. Again, you'll do the guided notes, you'll turn them in through Canvas. The last bit, I'll show you the sheet in a second because it's a little more confusing, is watch a brief video. They're going to go over what the Enlightenment was and then 6 famous thinkers and writers from that time period, right? All right, and so that's pretty straightforward. That's easy to understand. What you might be confused about is what you're turning into me. So if you were to go to the next sheet, and I'll show you this. So this is the note-taking sheet right here. You'll see it. These are your 6 figures you got to know. But down here, you'll get to this. You'll see things like quote section, impact in the United States. You'll see that over here. That's impact in the United States right here. Quotes right there. And then down here, ideas. So these would be like what the ideas are supposed to be is these would be the big thing. Like if you had to take what they thought or what they talked about and boil it down to, you know, 3 or 4 words, this would be where the ideas are. And then here's what you got to do. This is where I think you're all going to get confused. All right, so you see all the names down here, right? Hobbes, Locke, Voltaire, Montesquieu, Rousseau, Wollstonecraft. So here's what I'm asking you to do. Here's what we're asking you to do. Figure out, all right, so read the quotes up here. Cool. Figure out which quote might go with Locke, and then whatever one you think it is, you write down Q 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. And then you go I am impacting the United States and do the same thing. So the idea is that you're taking these things you see up here, all the stuff you see up here, and then matching it down to the name below. Hopefully it makes some sense. If not, we'll have a chance to talk about it in our live class. All right, and then questions. So these are kind of broad questions like, which code do you think is the most important to our country? Like, which of these guys do you think made the biggest impact on us, right? Um, which one do you think is more relevant to who you are as a person? So these are kind of more open-ended questions. No right or wrong. You just need to explain why using complete sentences. This sheet's kind of formatted weird, so this might be the kind of one you print out and then send me the picture on, just FYI. All right, and then the last thing I want to go over really quickly with you guys is we are going to have another live class on Thursday at 12. Again, the time is the time. If the date's the problem, like if you want it to be on Friday or Wednesday or whatever, I can change that. That's easy. But our class is specifically scheduled for noon, noon. So that's just when I have to do them. So what live classes will be like is it will be a chance for me to kind of like hit the big ideas, make sure you understood everything, and then you guys can ask me questions. I prefer just for you guys to ask me questions. I don't really want to do a lecture. I'd rather have it be, hey, what are you confused on? Cool, let's go over that real quick and move on. All right. Again, I don't want the reason you're not turning things in because you don't understand. I'm giving you live classes. You've got Remind, you've got email. There's all these places to come and get help. This is the thing about online learning. It's so much more on you. You can't be passive. You have to be active. And so this is part of being active, which is coming to live classes, asking for help, getting help when you need it, all that stuff. But if you can't make it, I have recorded them and I posted them for you guys on Canvas. Just a word of warning, they only stay available for 14 days on Canvas. So if you think you can go back and watch them all like a month later, you can't. It won't be there. So it's kind of more of like, oh, I missed it. Let me go back. I missed it. Let me go the next day or the day after and watch it. And then I got it. All right, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Send me any questions you got. Make sure you turn in the attendance sheet and you're staying safe. All right. See you guys.